When your Doberman stares at you from across the room, not because he wants food, not because he heard something outside, but just because you're there. That look, that quiet, intense, unshakable loyalty that doesn't ask for anything in return. If you've ever felt it, you already know. This isn't just a dog. This is something else entirely. Something that doesn't have a clean word in any language. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I see you. That actually breaks my heart a little, because the people who stick around, they get it. They know what it means to love a dog that loves you back harder than anything in this world. Hit that subscribe button. You belong here. This is your place. Duke was a Doberman with a chest full of muscle and eyes full of soul. His owner, Marcus, had adopted him at 8 weeks old, a tiny, shaking, rust and black puppy that fit in one hand. The breeder had placed him in Marcus's arms and said, "This one's been watching you since you walked in." Marcus laughed it off. Puppies don't choose people, he thought. He was wrong. Nobody told Marcus back then that this dog would one day become the most important relationship in his life. That on the hardest nights, Duke would be the only reason he got back up in the morning. That a dog could carry a grown man's grief in a way no friend, no therapist, no amount of time alone ever quite managed. By the time Duke was 2, the dynamic had shifted completely. Marcus wasn't walking Duke anymore. Duke was watching over Marcus. Every morning, without fail, Duke would press his long snout against Marcus's cheek before he got out of bed. Not loud, not dramatic, just, "I'm here. You're safe. Let's go." There's something about a Doberman that people misunderstand. People see the posture, the ears, the intensity, and they assume guard dog, weapon, a dog that exists to protect property, to stand at a door and look dangerous. But the ones who live with Dobermans, they know the truth. Duke would follow Marcus from room to room, not anxious, not clingy, just present, like a shadow that breathed and occasionally stole socks. Marcus would sit at his desk working, and Duke would curl at his feet, heavy and warm, a living anchor to the moment. On the days Marcus felt the weight of everything, bills, silence, the particular loneliness of a difficult year, Duke would rest his head on Marcus's knee without being called. Just knew. No signal, no sound, he just knew. How does a dog do that? How does an animal read the invisible weight of a human being and decide without hesitation, without needing to be asked, that this is the moment to show up? One Tuesday evening, Marcus came home after the kind of day that makes you question everything. The kind where you drive home on autopilot and sit in the parking lot for 10 minutes before you can make yourself go inside. He sat on the kitchen floor, not even making it to the couch, just sat there, back against the cabinet, staring at nothing. Duke didn't bark, didn't bring a toy, didn't do any of the things dogs do when they want attention. He walked over slowly, turned in a circle once, and lay down across Marcus's lap, all 45 kilos of him, across his lap, unmovable, warm, like a living weighted blanket that somehow understood the exact shape of the pain. Like he was saying, "You're not carrying this alone." Marcus laughed despite himself, a broken, surprised, completely real laugh that came from somewhere deep, and Duke's tail thumped once against the floor. That was it. That was the whole conversation, and somehow, impossibly, it was everything. Now here's something I want you to think about. Some people say dogs don't understand emotions, that it's all conditioning, instinct, pattern recognition, that when your Doberman leans into you on a hard day, it's just behavior shaped by reward, nothing more. But others, the ones who've been on that kitchen floor, believe something different. They believe that love doesn't need language, that loyalty doesn't need explanation, that some bonds are built not from training, but from choosing each other again and again, every single day, in 100 small and silent ways. Which side do you fall on? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. because I think the answer says more about us than it does about the dogs. Duke turned 6 last spring. Marcus threw him a birthday, ridiculous, wonderful, completely sincere, a small cake made of meat and sweet potato. Duke demolished it in 11 seconds flat and then looked up for more with an expression Marcus described as audaciously unbothered. Their neighbor's kid, a 7-year-old named Lily, had been terrified of Duke when they first moved in. She would cross the street just to avoid passing him on the sidewalk. Her mom apologized once, awkwardly, and Marcus just smiled and said, "Give it time." 3 months later, Lily was feeding Duke treats through the fence, giggling every time his big noble head pushed against the metal links, his ears perked forward, tail going like a propeller. 4 months after that, she was asking her mom if they could get a Doberman. Some dogs don't just change the life of one person, they ripple outward. They soften things, fences, fears, the distance between strangers. Duke didn't need to do anything dramatic, he just had to be himself, consistently, day after day, and the world around him quietly became a warmer place. There are mornings now when Marcus wakes up before his alarm and just lies still for a moment, not moving, not checking his phone, just listening. And every time, without fail, he hears it, the soft, steady breathing of a dog who chose to sleep as close to him as physically possible. Sometimes on the bed, sometimes on the floor right beside it, one paw pressed lightly against Marcus's hand over the edge of the mattress. Still here, still yours. He doesn't take it for granted anymore. That presence, that warmth, that absurd, enormous, entirely too big for the bed creature who somehow fills every empty space in a room just by being in it. If you have a dog like this, a dog who is less like a pet and more like a person, a dog who knows when you're breaking before you do, hold on to them. Pay attention. Time moves fast. Their years are shorter than ours, and that fact is the quiet grief that every dog owner carries somewhere underneath all the joy. Every ordinary Tuesday is a gift you don't realize you're receiving until one day you'd give anything to have it back. And if you're watching this and you don't have that yet, maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you're standing on the edge of the decision, I just want you to know, the love a Doberman can give you is unlike anything I can fully describe in a video. You have to live it. You have to earn it. It comes slowly at first and then all at once, and when it finds you, it changes you permanently. Before you scroll away, if this video touched something in you, if you felt even a flicker of what Marcus felt on that kitchen floor, subscribe. Not for the algorithm, not for a number, for yourself. Because this channel exists for people who believe that the bond between a human and a dog is one of the most honest things left in this world. No performance, no agenda, just love that shows up every day without being asked. And we are not even close to done telling these stories. Now, tell me, do you think dogs truly understand our emotions, or are we just seeing what we want to see?